Boy oh boy does Game Pass have a lot to choose from, so much so that it can be a little daunting to know where to even begin. But don't worry, in this video we're going to go over what's new and some of the gems worth checking out on Microsoft's gaming service. Vampire Survivors emerged from obscurity to being one of the most talked about games of the year. And while it's been on PC Game Pass in early access, it has finally unleashed its official version 1.0 on Xbox consoles. It's a single-stick shooter where all you need to do is control the movement of your character while it shoots and fires weapons and abilities for you. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. The longer you stay alive, the more overwhelming herds of enemies become, forming hundreds as they surround you on all sides. It then becomes a dance of maneuvering through an ever-growing horde while strategically stacking power-ups to fend them off. Now, this is a roguelite, so the levels are always the same, but the power-ups you receive and the order in which you do is completely random. The more you play, the more characters you unlock, with each one starting off with a specific weapon, like Antonio, who has a whip, or Gennaro with throwing knives, or Poe, who starts with garlic, which is the single most satisfying damn power-up this game has because it basically allows you to just walk through crowds of low-tier enemies without a single care in the world. Its approachability lends to countless hours gone, as it'll have you entranced by its vampiric gaze. And the addictive nature of just trying one more time to either stay alive a little longer or unlock a new character is the first sign that you know it has sunk its teeth into you. Thankfully, it's a small download size and an absolute no-brainer if you're looking to just shut your brain off after a long day. History, art, and murder meet at a single point in the 16th century adventure game Pentiment. This is, through and through, an inspired and bold exploration of European life in the 1500s, underpinned by art, social class, politics, philosophy, and religion, all neatly wrapped up in a murder mystery that spans decades. You play as Andreas, a master artist who finds himself entangled in the middle of a murder, and all the scandals that unravel with it. In trying to find your friend who is tied to the murder innocent, you'll spend most of your time talking and getting to know the many townsfolks, hear their stories, and get a magnified look at common folk of the era. In so many ways, while the mystery is central, Pentiment is an intimate look into history, but through the lens of the people living it, rather than how we're used to seeing it, often academically and through a textbook, which is, boring for some of us. On your journey, you'll get to decide who Andreas is, using light RPG elements, shaping his background, personality, all of which determines your responses in certain scenarios, and the ability to navigate more turbulent encounters. Most of the choices you make will have a ripple effect that spans years, and may even influence the development of the small village in which the game resides. Norco. It's a surreal, southern gothic set in a dystopian sci-fi depiction of New Orleans suburbia. In this text-based point-and-click adventure, you return home after being gone for 5 years and learning about your mother's death, only to learn that your brother is missing. Your journey to find him will take you through the sullen streets of a sunken, surreal suburb, left dilapidated by a corporation that tore it all apart for its oil refineries. For how serious and melancholy the game sounds, it is actually remarkably funny, genuine, and, at times, bursting with warmth and heartfelt prose. It manages to deliver a moving story about family, corporate tyranny, even religion and technology, while never feeling overt. Instead, it delivers it cleverly through the characters you meet and their often quirky stories. And, I assure you, this game goes to some rather fantastical places. Speaking personally, this was very high on my Game of the Year list, and I'd just about recommend it to anyone. Even if text-heavy visual novels aren't your thing, I'd still suggest popping it on to click about the moody and atmospheric pixelated world. Also, make sure to listen to the guy's story about eating a hot dog. And I mean, like, the whole story. What else can I say to introduce a game that starts every single level with a giant banner that says, "Kick their ass"? This is a game where you play as a dude with the worst posture in gaming history, wielding a casket gun and dual pistols, shooting everything in sight, with each enemy erupting like a water balloon filled with guts and blood. This is the most video game-ass video game I have played all year, and you know what? I don't even know if it's good. All I know is that I shot shit non-stop for an hour straight, and I still have no idea what's happening in this game. And like this dude's deformed posture, I couldn't care less. Because I am a badass dude with a big collar and glasses permanently resting on the tip of my nose despite twirling in a ballet of gunfire and violence. This is a game that in its own description on Game Pass uses verbiage like "Grave is the gunslinger of resurrection and badass anti-hero of your dreams," or "Become the ultimate killing machine, brutalizing your foes without mercy." And you know what? I'm like, yeah, dude, this is a game about having unlimited ammo, listening to loud music, and swinging around a giant casket that beat the crap out of dudes and monsters and stuff, and it's cool. So, in the case that a 16th century mystery isn't for you, or you'd rather not read your way through a story like Norco, then what else could possibly tickle your gaming fancy other than a game where you play as a dude head to toe in leather, blowing everything in sight to shreds? Or, we could just dial things back slightly with Somerville. Somerville is the sci-fi puzzle adventure debut of Studio Jumpship, which is made up of some of the folks that brought us classics like Limbo and Inside. Following a similar style to those games, Somerville will have you traversing a civilization in the midst of a cosmic hostile attack, forcing you to make amends with your family in the face of an utter catastrophe. Through ravaged forests and fallen cities, you have to find the whereabouts of your family while dealing with an alien invasion. The game features a stark yet vibrant art style despite its rather dire narrative. And like Limbo and Inside, you'll be solving environmental puzzles and often running for your life, and hiding to maneuver dangerous encounters. Additionally, observing aliens at times will be vital in your survival and how to understand their technology. Based on real events, The Legend of Tianding is a beat-em-up set in 20th century Taipei, where you play as Leon Tianding, a sort of Robin Hood-style vigilante that robs the rich, feeds the poor, and serves fists full of justice. This is a stylized, hard-hitting action game that is just bursting at the seams with grit and fists. Most impressively is how well it manages to incorporate its Chinese manga art style into the game itself, using illustrated panels as a way to emphasize moments and even attacks in a way that feels really reminiscent of something like Beautiful Joe, and I am 100% here for it. Ghost Song is an absolute cosmic terror with a striking art style that is as dark as it is dazzling. You are a dead suit, long dormant, now awakened on a desolate moon that is stricken with mysteries, twisting caverns, secrets, and galactic monstrosities. In proper Metroidvania fashion, you'll explore the world, discovering secret places, its haunting history, and, of course, new abilities that allow you to backtrack and slowly unlock the world, but not without scary, spooky stuff to stand in your way. Thankfully, you're not entirely alone. You'll encounter a cast of characters along the way where you'll get to piece together more of the mystery and the terror that surrounds the moon. Okay, that's it. Hope there was something on this list that interested you. This month for Game Pass has been one great game after another, so I implore you to at least check out something on this list that you may not have considered otherwise. In the meantime, I'm going to kick their ass. Thanks for watching.